It is scrap buster time. All right, so I have just finished the photo folio, the Fashion Bazaar mixed media photo folio. I think because I have so much left of what I had printed out and of the pages that I made, I'm thinking I'm going to make myself a small journal just with all my scraps. I mean, what a better way to use scraps up. And so that, I think, is what I'm going to do with all of this stuff that I still have left. My goodness. But this is going to be a quick, simple one, just straightforward journal. But, you know, I've got all the ephemera pretty much all cut out, so it's really not going to be very hard for me to just pull this sucker together quite rapidly. So, I just kind of ran through all of that. I'm also going to go back through. I have some little dictionary page here. My dog helped me rip out of a book that I had. So I think it's Italian. So I've got that. These I had in to use this, and I didn't use it, so I will pull these back out. You know, so I would just pull out the things that I think I might utilize. There's some vellum. There's some music paper. Get a couple of those. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of that, so I'm going to put that in there. That we'll make a pocket or something out of that. I don't know that I like that with it. I think I decided I didn't. I'll put these little bits back in there. There's a little piece of something. These make cute little journals inside the journal, so I will put these out, or I've also got those. That's a page I'm sure I can use. So just go through your junk drawer, probably use those up, and scrap drawer, and pull out everything that you think will possibly be usable. And let's get this stuff cleaned up. I don't ever really worry about getting my black used, but that's a nice big piece. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. That may work. Yeah, I think this green will work. I can get that done in small portions. There's a little... I don't know that I really want the gray. That will work. I can use a page of these memos. That's an envelope. We'll put that in there. And this is just some plain paper that came out of a book that I bought or got free or something, and so I think, well, it's not wanting to rip. They were perforated, but I guess the ones back here didn't get perforated, so I'll just cut them down. But I'll go ahead and put that paper in there and use that up. And I think that's probably about it. This is just copy paper. That's kind of what I use. In fact, I have a few sheets here to add to it when I'm filling a page with tidbits. So I like to keep these for that. So there's that, and I think that's about it. I think that's what what we will be taking out of there today. There's very little in this drawer, and it feels good to keep it that way. Feels good to keep it that way. Okay, so I am going to just kind of bring you in as I go, but I gotta tell you guys, first, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull out what can be used as a page and what's gonna have to be a pocket or added ephemera or whatever, you know, like that. So I'm gonna take a file folder, and anything that cannot be used as a page, I'm gonna stick in that file folder. And then I've got another file folder that I had all of this stuff in, and I'm gonna put that over on the other side of me, and anything that can be used as a page will go over there. And I think I'm going to put this in as a page because I don't really want a fussy cut anymore. So that will be, yeah, all these little tiny pieces won't be a page, obviously. And that's kind of got stepped on or something. So now that can be used as a page. This can be used as a page. In fact, I think that might be the size I make. I think that would be actually perfect for the size. Not all the ladies will fit, but we will get the majority. Get the top, have these pretty things at the bottom for a pocket or something. So yeah, I think that might be a good size. So let me tell you, oh, there's my pin from my glue. I could not find it. There we go. Okay, so this is 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 by 6 1/4. So yeah, that'll be a good size. So I'm gonna stick that out just to remind me. So all of these will be pages, and then these are not. So I still got a boatload of ephemera to put. This might be a good flap, so I'm going to put that over there. Let's see, because I want to see how many pages. That's a good page. That's a good page. That's a good page. 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 Well, no, not a good page. 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 Page, 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 page. Okay, and then here, that's an envelope, so I'm going to put that over there. That can be a page. That can be a page. That can be a page. That might work as a page. That'll be a flap. These are pockets, so I'm going to put those back over here. That can work as a page. These are going to go over here because I know I can do little journals with those. Yeah. So this piece can be a page. This piece, I think there's 1.5. But I'm going to put those over in pages. We'll put that one in a page. And that's all decoration. Oh, that's part of something else. That's part of something else. Okay, so let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just a flap. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It's just a flap. 20, 21. Okay, so there's 21. So I could do 3. Yeah, and this will be a page as well, but that's our size. I could do 3, see, 21, so 7, 3 7-page signatures, and that would leave me some nice room to, and I think I might gusset them, and I'll show you how to do that. Put a little gusset in your journal pages, and that gives you more room on the inside of your journal pages, as well as the room on the in between the signatures. So inside your signatures it gives you room, and outside in between the signatures it gives you more room, so you get more opportunities to fill it up, but yet it's still going to stay more like a book. So I will show you that. So I think that's going to be good. So let me just write myself a note. 3, let's see, does this actually work? 3 7-page signatures. Gusset the signatures. Okay, and it's 8.5 by, well, it was 6 1/4, but we'll do maybe 6.5, and that'll make it a little more better. If you want to put pictures in it, you'll have that little bit of extra space. So the pages will be 8.5 wide, which will actually end up being 4 1/4. So maybe we'll do 8 3/4, and that way it's a 1/2 inch larger than a 4x6 on both sides. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's what we're gonna do. So do you see how I figured that out? Hopefully that made sense to you. And then we have all of this, which it's quite a bit, and thank goodness almost all of it is fussy cut out. Oh, I did have these. 1 2 3 4 5. So I think I'll just take 3 of these and add, so I'll make 8-page signatures. Yeah, so I'll cut 3 of these off of here. Yeah, the perforation didn't quite make it past. I think I had to cut the last couple out too. I probably should take this staples out of here and just, yeah, we'll try. But anyway, so I'm going to add 3 of these, and then I'll put the other 2 back into my scrap bin. And then I'll almost have that gone. Good, there was good 20 pages in there. Yay! Alrighty. Okay, guys, so I am going to cut and fold all of these. You guys know how to do that. Everything's going to be no bigger than 8 3/4. Like this is 8.5, so it's fine. But the larger pieces I will make 8 3/4. So when I fold them in half, it will be a 4.5. Well, no, I'm going to gusset it. So, that's all right. That's all right. Okay. Cut everything at least 8 3/4 or less, or at the most 8 3/4 or less, and 6.5 high is the height of the page. So like this one, obviously you're going to have to cut it down or fold it and make a flap, because you only want it 8 3/4. So measure over 8 3/4 and score it and just fold it, and then fold it in half. And then you'll have, you know, a cute, if you have something like that, you know, like the message things. I will probably pull one off. I don't know. I'll see. I might use the yellow in a spot because it's got a yellow back to it. I might use the yellow in a spot and the white in a spot. Who knows? Who knows? And these, let's see, they are basically about 10 and a half. So what I probably will do is cut, yeah, if I cut this part off, I can make a page, and I'll cut it down. So yeah, there you go. And just think about where you want to cut them when you've got pretty things, and what you're going to be leaving. All right, guys. So I'm going to get all my stuff cut, and I will come back and show you what I mean by gusseting my signatures. All right, so hang in there. Okay, so I have cut all of those papers. So I've got a stack of papers to do little different things with. This is all of the pieces that were cut off. So they are now going to go into the stack. They'll be great for pockets. Really, that will be excellent for little pockets and belly bands and things such as that. So I'm going to put those away for a few minutes. So you're going to figure out, these are all smaller items. These are basically full pages. Smaller items, basically full pages. That's an envelope. Okay, so what you're going to do though is pick out your 3 center signatures. So what you're going to put in the center that's going to be opened on both sides. Because that's really, where like some of these beautiful papers can really shine. And so I know, and I left these longer because I am going to flap over one side or both sides. So this is a full 11. So that gives me what, inch and something. Let me see. Oh yeah, no, these are 10 3/4. So it gives me about 10 3/4. So it gives me about 2 inches to play with. So I could fold an inch over this way, an inch over this way, or back on itself. It is just a white backing. But these 3, of course, I have this one as well. So these are the ones that I'm going to choose for my centers of my signatures. And I think I am going to go with these 3, and I will leave this one for something else. I probably could have left one of these at a regular size, so I could have used it as my cover. Although I do think I have one more paper in somewhere. I can't remember where, but I think I've got one more sheet that is a full-size sheet. Yes. It's in another room. So, okay, so whatever that is what is going to be. And then I have these, and these, and this, and this, and that's partial. But all of these are my pages in my 3 books. And I got 3 of these, and what I'm going to do is score these, because this is the 8 3/4, and right now this is 8 1/2, but I'm going to score it at the 6 1/2 mark and fold it up, and then I will cut out the section that is gusseted for the pockets. Okay. But, okay, so for this, the first thing we're going to do is get our little scoreboard. Oh, I put it over here. I'm like, whoa, where's my scoreboard? Okay, so we're going to get our little scoreboard. Oh, boy, that thing, maybe, I don't know. Okay, so this one, we can find the center. Just put a little space up in there. And just line that center point up with any groove in your area here. So it lines up in one groove. I am going to put that where it lines up actually on one of the pegs. So where the center point is actually going on one of the pegs. So it's in the center of two grooves. And that will give me an 1/8 of an inch gusset, a 1/16 on each side of the center of the page. All right. And then we're going to fold. And you're going to fold both ways. Okay, that didn't go straight. Okay, so let's see here. There we go. Much better. So now we have an 1/8 of an inch gusset. See that? Okay, so you're going to do this with the other two center signatures. Then you're going to build out from this. So say from there, I want to take this. I'm going to push it against the edge. Just locate my center and do exactly the same thing. Put the center against a post. There we go. Make sure it lines up. Take your time. I mean, they're not going to be on each other, but you might as well have them straight. Okay. There we go. Come on. Get down there. There we go. All right. So there is my second piece. And that is going to fit right inside the gusset on the first piece. Can you see that? It just fits right in there. Okay. And depending on how thick it is, you can do another one that is an 1/8 of an inch. If it's just like a piece of copy paper or something like that, you can definitely get away with just doing one more 1/8 of an inch. Like, let's do this one. This is handmade paper, so I'm going to be a little more careful with it. So very careful doing the, doesn't take much pressure at all. And I think if I just fold this around, it will fall into place. Yeah, so that works. Okay, so now that is over there. Yeah, these really thin, fine papers, they'll just do whatever you want them to do. So now the next one. So let's say, I'm trying not to pull those out yet to keep it a little simpler. That's not going to go. Let's see. Yeah, let's try this one. Okay, I'm going to flip this one over. I'm going to find the center by pushing everything up into this corner so it's laying on both sides, and just fold a little piece. Now, this one, you're going to line it up in the center and then move it just to the edge of the pin, the cap, whatever this piece is called that's separating the grooves. Okay, so just push it to the end. Don't center it. Just have it to the outside, the far side of whatever groove you're going to go into. Let me put a pencil mark so you guys can see. Yeah, pencil. Here we go. Okay, so here is my center. And I'm going to make this dark enough so you can see. Okay, let me get a little closer. Okay, so there it is, lined up in between two of these notches. We've got a notch, and then we've got the little caps on top that separate these little notches. Okay, so, and then here is the center of one of those caps. Okay, so that's the center. That's what you do with the first one. And then you go down this side and this side in the notch on either side of the cap. And that's how you get that first score. And you can do it for 2 or 3. It all depends. But now I'm going to go down this side. I'm going to put my mark all the way over to the end of this cap. It's not in the center of the two. It's just over to the edge, the far edge of the cap. And then I'm going on this side, and I'm going to switch it and get it all the way over to the other end of the cap. Okay, and it's a little more than 1/8 of an inch. I don't know if I center this, it's actually, okay, let me center it on the cap. It is actually hitting the edges of both the next 2 caps. Let me put a line in the score mark itself. Okay, so if I center that center line with one of the caps, you can see that these are now on the edge of the next caps over. And that's where the score line is. So it is larger than 1/8 of an inch, but it's not as large as the quarter. Now you're going to do that on 2 sheets. And you can, you can figure out if you want to jump just to the 1/4 of an inch, you go right ahead. So, it's simply up to you, whatever is going to float your boat. And I've done them where I've just made the gussets 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch. And all of my papers, I left them all the same. I left them the lengths they were. So if I had 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11, I left the longest that I could. I made all of my gussets, and then I cut my pages down. So you can do it that way as well. This being a small journal, I really wasn't too worried about what I needed to leave length for. So now, oh, where are you? So now you can see that all of those are resting inside and it's going to allow your pages room to sit and be able to be a book instead of, let me pull you back out again. It's going to be able to be a book instead of everything pinched in a corner and then it's ballooning out because you have all this stuff. I like them when they're still as flat a book as possible. So this way you're going to keep it as flat as possible. And you're still going to be able to put a few things on the page and not have it turn into a alligator mouth. So you'll want another one done like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think I said 7, but then I think I added something. So then it was 8, and I think I added something else. I don't know. So it was 9. Now this one, let's see. This way is the 8 3/4. But first, this is the 8 1/2, and I want them at 6 1/2. So at the 2-inch mark, I'm going to go ahead and put a score line. Let me just finish the score up. Okay, so there's that score line. All right, now we're going to fold it just like we've done all the other ones. If you want to measure them and figure out the center, that's fine. But this works. So again, I will put my pencil mark right where, oh, I don't have you close. But I am going to move that mark over to the far end of the nip on the far side of the one that I'm going to score next to, and then I'm going to move it to the far side on the other side of that same one. Okay, now on this one, because I left a pocket, a pre-made pocket, I'm going to go ahead and cut this section out, and I need some scissors to do that. There we go. So I am going to cut the score marks off on both sides down to the score line. Now you can, if you want to, just fold that over and glue it. If this is like really, really thin paper. But I'm just going to cut mine off. I think it's fine. I'm just going to snip her right off there. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're not going to get into the score line. This actually needs to be cut just a smidge more. And snip. So when you bring them down, you want to make sure you're not going to get in your score line. Then go ahead and fold your score line. And if you didn't get that nipped off, go ahead and nip it off correctly. And then fold this score line. There we go. Okay. So there's page number 5. And now I'm going to jump up one more time. See, we are almost at 1/4 inch. And this time it's going to be super simple. We're going to do 1/4 inch. So I think I'll fold this way. doesn't have to be perfect, because remember, they're not going to be running on top of each other. However, you do want everything to stay nice. So I'm going to have to glue that little piece down again. Okay. I don't know why I folded it like I did, because I'm going to do the score mark. Okay, so I'm going to put my center line against the center of one of the nibs, and then I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to do the line next to it, and then I'm going to let's see, and I want to have 2 spaces. So if I got, okay, sorry, put your center line in the center of 2 nibs, and then go to the nib, the groove, put it in the groove between 2 nibs. Then you're going to go over 1 groove this way, and then 1 groove this way, and make your score marks. So there's that one, and then, so it's a 1/4 inch, and that I've made an absolute mess of this. So let me, with all that layers of paper I've got right there, it fell right out. Okay, see that, and that's a heavy piece. So let me see. Okay, come on. This has got so much on it. All right, let's just try it this way. I thought maybe not having the score tool go over these would be better for trying not to tear them, but I think it's easier to control what I'm doing and seeing what I'm coming up against. So not all of them are going to be this difficult. This is just because there is quite a bit right in the center of this page that just does not feel like it wants to fold for us. Yeah, there must be like 4 layers right in this area of paper. Not necessarily thick paper, but still 4 layers with 4 layers of glue. So, okay. So now we have our 1/4 inch gusset, which will go right around all our others. Okay. So see, it stays nice and flat. This is probably wider than this is right now, if you see that. So when you go to add pockets and all of that stuff, you've got room to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need 1 more. And what do I want on the front cover? Let's see. Let's see. Huh. Okay. That's not a full page, though. It's going to be kind of funky. Funky monkey. Okay, so this... I'm still kind of thinking I might use that for my cover if I can't come up with that other sheet. Because I don't want to print any more out. I'm trying to use up my scraps as it is. Dummy. Dummy. So let's do this one. Okay, so we're going to find our center. And we're going to do a full 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to lay it in the center of a nib. And then I'm going to do the next groove over from the groove that I centered my center line in. And then the groove over to the left. And that will give me a 1/4 of an inch. And then this ought to be relatively easy since there's nothing on the page. And I like this print. And voila. So there we go. And we are much thinner here than we are here. So we're going to have plenty of nice space. I'm not saying it's not going to balloon out, but it will not balloon out as much. Then when we go to sew it, you just do it a little differently, but not much. And you can do it the same. I like to try and give it a little bit more support than just the three hold pamphlet stitch, which, you know, for this size is pretty much all you do. So when we get to that part, I'll show you. And then these flaps, I'm going to flip back or whatever. And then once I do that, I can either get everything into one length, or I can leave them multiple different lengths. They're not really that far off. This one is a little shorter. Yeah, so I kind of like having where you can see the different pages. So that's it. I'm going to do that 2 more times and get, you know, whatever you want, 7, 8 pages, 10 pages, whatever it is that you normally do, and just increase it. If you were going to do more pages, I would say at this point, you're going to need it to be a little larger than a 1/4 of an inch. So you would just maneuver your lines out so that you end up with a little larger than a 1/4 of an inch, but not a 1/2 an inch. Yeah. And then do that for 2 papers, as long as it's not really thick. If it's really thick, like this one here is really thick, but it's only thick in this one little spot. So I was kind of hoping that this was going to work out for me. And it does. It does. So I'm happy. I do have this. No, I have one that is higher than all the others, and it's the one with the pocket. So I am going to cut that one down. Everything else is the same height or shorter, but this one was a little long, so I'm just going to take a little trim off of it and stick it back in there. All right, guys, so get all 3 of your signatures, or however much stuff you have left over from your last, you know, if you don't have much, pick one of my other scrap busters to do. But if you've got quite a bit of leftovers, then follow along with me and let's make a gusseted journal together. Okay, guys? I'll be back in a minute. Okay, guys, so I have now my 3 gusseted journals. So this one ended up being a little thicker than the other 2, but for the most part, I'm happy with it. But they all have 7 pages in them, I believe. So once you get your signatures done, and this has used up most of the larger pieces of my paper, I have all of this to decorate with. So I got plenty of stuff to decorate. So before we do anything else, you do need to go through, and like I have created one that's got pockets, and then there's just, and you want to go through and you want to decorate these. There's some vellum, and then these I need to figure out where I want to fold them over, but I left them long for the time being. So that is what I have so far, and like I said, I'm going to go through before we do anything else and go ahead and get them decorated. So then I know the thickness that I'm going to need to separate them out between each other, and then for the spine itself. Okay, you don't have to get all your decorating done, but you do want to get all your pockets and things done. You need to get, if you're putting tags in there, you need to get that done. And if you're layering up a lot of paper or using laces and things like that, get all the things that are really going to put the bulk in here. Get most of those things done. You can go back and add little tidbits of paper or whatever. And I think I'm going to color all of my edges, so that will take me a little bit of time to do too. So, but what a great way. And guys, this is going to be a no-sew. So you're not going to have to sew these together. This is a no-sew gusseted journal. And so just stick with me and you'll find out how we're going to do that. But first, let's go ahead and get these decorated and all our flips and flaps figured out. And once I do that, I will come back and show you how we're going to figure out the size of the cover that we want, and also how we're going to install these without the pamphlet stitch or the Coptic stitch or nothing. All right? All right, guys. See you in a few minutes. Well, for you, that's going to take me a while. Bye. Okay, guys. So I just wanted to take you through how I kind of organize everything. So I've got still my 3 undecorated signatures. So I made, just out of the strips that I had in my my scrap drawer. And you can do this any way you want. You can just slide this in a pocket. You can glue down one side, and then you'll have this flip and that flip. But I got 3 of them. I have, oh yeah, I still needed to cut out one more. I have 3 of these, and these turn into little pockets. 3 little pockets, or 4, depending on how you want to glue them down. And I have only 2 of these. These were in my stash, so in my scrap drawer. I'm not going to make another one, so I might get these used up, but I do have a 3rd piece that's a part of one. I made 3 each of the details. This one says details and these say dates, but there's 3 each. I've got 3 little, just little cutout things, tags. I've got 3 little word verbiage things here. There are all of the leftover flowers that I haven't used yet. I have 3 of these little paper buttons, and then I die cut out 3 of these little swirly things. I have 3 sets of these to make like the tie closures. I have 3 extra ladies here to do something with. And then I have 3 smaller ladies here. And what I'm going to do is I split all of this up, and then each signature I'm going to focus on what I'm going to put in that signature by how I split these up. And these are just little booklets. I just cut the paper. I had this left over from when I cut some papers, some line papers up. I just cut them, made little covers for them, stapled them in the center using my little Tim Holtz mini stapler, and then used my corner punch all the way around. So that made 3 little cute little booklets, little journals. Then I've got 3 tags from the actual collection. And I've got 3 larger tags from the actual collection. I've got 3 sheets of vellum that I had in my scrap drawer. I have 4. So I don't know that I'll get to use this one, but I might use parts of it. I don't know yet, but there's 3 pieces to glue on the page or something like that, whatever I deem that I want. This is all I had left of the plum, so I've got that in there. And then I've got 3 of these. This was an envelope that I had in my stash, so I cut it down this way to fit in the book. I cut the short end of the envelope down so that it would fit into the book. I folded in there. I folded in so that I could get a nice folder type, and then I just cut off the flap of the envelope and then folded it over like that. So that will be a flap. This one will be a flap. And I think I might make this into a flap. So that's it, guys. I'm just going to separate these out. Plus I have all of these bits and pieces that I cut off for pockets, belly bands, side pockets, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I think I've covered everything. Oh, I did still have some little tickets, little border banner things, some verbiage, perfumery, things like that. Little thing there. So it's got things from a door, I guess. I've got 2 of these where it's a little, it's like a little trim with pearls on it, and then some of this paper that when I ink it, it makes it real pretty. I don't know if you're actually seeing that or not. That one's kind of weird, but when I ink it, the white words still pop up out of there, so that's nice. And then this is just some handmade paper that I had left over. So that's it. That's what I'm going to decorate this book with. And then everything else was just little teeny things, and they're all, I threw them away. Anything that was large enough, I did something like this with. I might make a few more, let's see, what was it that I was thinking of? I can't remember now. Well, I probably will once I start putting things on. I know I need to make up one more of those, and I'm going to have to find something to make it out of. Maybe I'll just make a purple one because I've got this, or no, that's just copy paper. That's not strong enough. So I might just make one out of this, so I'll have that. That's it, guys. I'll show you everything when I'm done.